I want to end on a couple of quick questions, Bob, because there's things we haven't gotten to. The animation business, which has been so key to the success of this company for so long, the creative engine. I mean, the Pixar deal, which sort of reignited that. Do you feel like that has fallen off? I can't remember the last Pixar movie that really generated a lot of conversation, perhaps because some have gone direct to consumer, but also others that have just not done as well.
Well, it's interesting because Turning Red would be the last one that did well, but it was a direct-to-streaming, direct-to-consumer film. It's nominated for an Academy Award, by the way. And it's interesting because I looked at numbers recently. It's one of the most streamed movies of the last year. So I think there has been success. It's just not the kind of success generated when a movie is taken out to box office. By the way, Encanto from Disney Animation, also very, very successful film. He actually won an Academy Award.
Right. So you don't feel like the animation business is not up to par?
No, well, I think we had a couple of creative misses, I'll say. That's the nature of the business. One at Pixar, one at Disney Animation. We've all learned, for those of us who have been in the creative side of the business a long time, you have to move past that. You got to process failure successfully. I love the slate that we have coming up. I spent a day at Pixar a week and a half ago and reviewed a number of projects. Talked yesterday on the call about a Toy Story 5, a Toy Story sequel. They have great original movies in development, and including one called Elemental, which is coming out, which is brilliant. Same thing at Disney Animation, but they're also going to make a Frozen sequel and a Zootopia sequel. They were actually working on a Moana television series for Disney+. So I think we've got talent. We've got the talent that we need, and we've got a pipeline that I think is really creative, and I'm confident that animation will continue to be an important business for this company for a long time.
I have to wrap up, but I do want to come back to succession. You've obviously indicated it is your intent to stay the 2 years that was outlined when you joined. How involved are you going to be in this succession process? Are the 4 people who are now running the key businesses here the logical potential successors?
Well, first of all, it's a board-led process. Mark Parker, who is the incoming chairman of the board, is chairing a succession committee. In fact, we have a meeting tomorrow on that. Their work is already underway. I will be involved with them, but again, it's a board-led process.
Right. Well, what is your role going to be?
Well, I think, obviously, having had the job for quite a long time, I think, my input is valuable to them about, one, what are the qualities that are necessary and that the CEO of the Walt Disney Company should have, for instance. We've already talked about that. I'll help them assess candidates, obviously, but it'll be their decision. I have one vote as a board member.
Right. Are you going to look outside? Do you think they'll look outside as well?
They're going to be expansive.
You guys don't typically go outside.
Well, when I was in the process in 2004, 2005, the board looked inside at me and outside. Yeah. And we considered outside candidates when we made the decision about Bob, and I'm certain they will do that again.
Back to that decision about Bob. Do you regret it? Are there things that have informed that decision that will help you in terms of making the next decision on your successor?
This is a big, complex company and a hard company to run even in good times. We thought we made the right decision when we chose Bob back in 2020. The board obviously decided recently in November that he was not the right person for the job, and they made a change. I think there are some, with anything, that any big decision that you make, particularly if it doesn't work out right, you should learn from what went wrong, and that's something the board has discussed, but I'm not going to get into details.
You're not going to get into what went wrong or what you may not have seen properly? I mean, the guy was working at the company for a long time. He shadowed you. You took endless trips to China together, for example?
We did. No, I'm not going to get into that.
All right. Doesn't seem like a great place to end, but I think we've got to.
You can change the subject. You have the right.
I do. Well, all right. One final question, because it's come up.
That might have been a mistake.
It was probably a mistake. Our exit interview, you were talking about the reasons why you were leaving. And one of them, you said to me, I wasn't listening as well as I used to. I was coming to the conclusion before I listened. And I've thought of that a few times because people have mentioned it to me. They say, well, is Bob working on his listening?
We should put that in context. I think I said, and I was serious about it, that I felt over time because of all the experience I gained and over those years, and the fact that it was a relatively successful run, that I got overconfident in my own instincts, my own decision making, and that I thought it caused me to be a little bit more dismissive of other people's ideas. And I think it was a healthy, what do you call it, self-analysis of some sort.
It was. People enjoyed hearing that.
I had the benefit of being gone for 11 months. It was a great 11 months. It was a refreshing, rejuvenating 11 months. So I sound like I long for that time again in my life, which maybe there's some truth to that. I come back with a lot of energy, a lot of passion, I think a lot of self-awareness right now. I have a great team of people in place. I extended some of their responsibilities yesterday. I'm obviously confident in their ability to take on more. I'm an optimist at heart. I feel great about being here, and I feel great about where the company is today and where I believe we'll be able to take it.